You just joined us, you're watching TVC News. Well, let's quickly bring in our guest to give his perspective on President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda as part of a review of the outgone year 2024. And he is the Deputy Chairman of the APC, Dr. Abiola Oshodi, and he joins me from Canada. Good to have you on the news at this time. So now, 18 months in office. First off, how would you rate the performance of the present administration so far?
Thanks so much for having me in the studio again. And thanks for that wonderful question. The administration came into office specifically, like you mentioned, about 18 months ago on the bedrock of very serious financial challenges. There were lots of forex backlog unpaid. The forex reserve had been a substantial part of the foreign reserve had been it was reported that some loans had been taken and used as collateral, and there was enormous funds that were being deployed into subsidizing both forex at the time and the fuel subsidy as well. So the challenges were quite enormous, that it was quite challenging for the federal government to continually meet its financial obligations at the time. So those were some of the challenges that the administration inherited. And the Tinubu administration has taken the bull by the horn from day one, even when it was unscripted. He removed the fuel subsidy, which he campaigned on, and other presidential candidates campaigned on that we can no longer continue the financial hemorrhage that was going into the fuel subsidy at the time. And he stepped up by also unifying the exchange rate system, which was only benefiting the elites anyway. And the twin policies, even though has caused short-term pain, especially to a lot of Nigerian middle class and the lower class citizens. But we can now start to see the benefits, in the medium and hopefully in the longer term, with a lot of revenues coming into the coffers of the government. And I think the Tinubu administration achieved a masterstroke that previous administrations had been unable to achieve since 1999 on our return to democracy, with the judgment it obtained, on behalf of local government that created or birthed the local government autonomy, which is what the original writers of the 1999 Constitution wanted it to be. But we know that the local government autonomy had been hijacked significantly until we got this, the Tinubu administration got this judgment from the Supreme Court. So I think, it's taken some very, very substantial decisions that helped restore hope in the system that the future is indeed bright. And I'm not surprised with a lot of Tinubu's critics at the time that are now coming around, and they've started to see the light of where the administration is heading to.
And since talking about the economic policies, let's also touch on the issue of tax reforms, which is yet to be accepted by all in the region. I'm talking about the North particularly. But what do you think the government needs to do now to get everyone on board to believe in these reforms, if at all it is for the benefit of the economy of Nigeria?
Yeah, I think a lot of consultation needs to happen. The tax reform bill also is quite revolutionary. Let's go back a little bit to the petroleum industry bill, the PIB bill at the time. When it was also being proposed, a lot of oppositions also came from the North. The tax reform bill, I've gone through it, and actually it favors not just the North, but the entire tax-paying system, of the various components of Nigeria. So, it also encourages the constituent unit to develop, different ways, of generating revenues, that, so that they can substantially invest in their critical infrastructures and create jobs, for their citizens. It's, I think when I listened to the presentation by the by the chairman of that tax reform committee, and a certain percentage, I think up to 80%, was going to Lagos State based on the current formula. And if the tax reform bill is signed into law, a substantial part of that VAT revenues will be going to the different states based on the, the fact that the VAT payers are residents or, are residents in other parts of the country, but they have their headquarters in Lagos. But it's being captured as if all the VAT revenues are coming from Lagos. So this is a bit of an anomaly, which the tax reform bill aims to address, amongst other substantial revolutionary changes, which is embedded in the tax reform bill.
Well, away from that now, still talking about the economy, because we don't understand the president also said that Nigeria has secured about $30 billion foreign indirect investments, which will be redeemed in the next 5 to 8 years. Talk to us on how do you think this will impact the lives of the average Nigerian, because some would say all this is just figures. We want to see action. How does this translate to the average Nigerian?
So let's look at it this way. I believe one of the components of that foreign direct investment, the $30 billion, for example, has to do with Coca-Cola, which can resonate with a lot of us. So Coca-Cola company has been operating in Nigeria for many years, pre-independence. So one of the deals that the president was able to secure is that Coca-Cola Nigeria would invest about $1 billion in the economy over the next 5 years. And what that means is that, a lot of that investment will go into job creation. A lot of that investment will go into improving the capacity, of Coca-Cola Nigeria Limited. A lot of that money will go into, recruiting a lot of Nigerians that will probably do that job on their behalf because they will not do it by themselves. So, when you look at it on a larger scale, that $30 billion will be coming to Nigeria over the next 5 to 8 years. And hopefully more will be coming as well. It goes a lot into job creation. It goes a lot into expanding the economy. It goes a lot into generating more revenues for the government, with which they can meet their financial obligations. So government cannot do it alone. We need to bring in a lot of the private sectors on board to critically expand and develop the untapped areas of Nigeria's economy. So that's what it basically means.
All right, let's quickly have this last question with you now. What's your take on the MOUs with countries like France for critical minerals, especially amid concerns that they may not be of benefit to Nigeria? What are your thoughts on this finally?
I think, so say, for example, one of those minerals I personally have interest in is lithium. So lithium is what's used to produce a lot of the batteries, that are used in the electric vehicles, which probably is not popular in Nigeria as of the moment, but in advanced countries, it's quite popular. There are a lot of other minerals anyway, just apart from lithium, but just to use that as an example. So, what this kind of deals would translate into is, again, expanding the critical sectors of the economy and boosting our economy from, to generate more funds from non-oil and gas sources. We've depended so much on oil and gas over the last couple of years, and now it's time to kind of diversify. That's what we mean by economic diversification, because we can generate substantial amount of money from other non-oil and gas related sources. So the future is bright, basically.
All right. And that's where we have to leave it for now. Thank you so much, Dr. Abiola Oshodi, former Deputy Chairman of the APC, all the way from Canada. We appreciate your insights on the news at 7 this
Thanks so much for having me.
On our policymakers, development experts, and community stakeholders have